Okay, we're going live in three, two, one. Well, this is Layers of Beauty with, well, we're up to episode number 6. For those who are watching right now, I accidentally put episode number 5 in the title, so I have to change that. So if you're watching this at the very beginning, it might say episode number 5. It's actually episode number 6. So how does that feel? We're doing 6 episodes so far.
Wow. Hi, guys. I'm very honored soon to be here and continue this journey. It's
I'm
been
glad.
very fun.
I'm glad that you're here too. It's always fun with you on board. So friendly and everything. So
Oh,
well,
thank you.
we do have somebody standing by. Trung, he says hello. So hello, Trung, as that's how you pronounce your name. So, uh, the
Hello.
so is the are you still dealing with the heat? Last time we talked 2 weeks ago, you were dealing with pretty high temperatures and no air conditioning. Is it still the
I think
same?
heat is gone now. Heat is gone. It's getting to the rainy season. It's actually getting to a cooler degree, which is my weather. So I'm happy about that.
Oh, okay.
I'm
So,
happy.
well, so as far as like since we're getting close to the end of August, do you have any problems with anything else? Like I can tell you right now, the bug problem, the insect problem around my house is ridiculous. Like crickets and all these other little creatures all over the place. Have any issues with any little insects bothering you or anything like that?
We have moth coming around this season, a lot of moth around the houses, the condos, the cities. And that's because of every time in BC fire, I don't know if you heard about the BC fires, we have a lot of forests that, because when we don't have rainy seasons or a lot of rains, they go, on fire, and then all the moth and, not a lot other creatures I haven't seen, but I saw a lot of moth coming towards city from forest. So last year, I think it was just too much, to the point that I had moth all over my room. And I'm not scared of moth. I think they're beautiful.
Uh,
But then at some point I was scared.
so you're not scared, but you are scared.
No, I wasn't scared, but then there was too much. Then when it's too much of everything, I get like they are invading my privacy. It's
Oh, I
just
see.
becoming too much. But I think that's the only thing but other than that.
Oh well, I had a problem with what they call pantry moths. Have you ever heard of these? Not
No.
this year, about 2 years ago, maybe I had a whole bunch of them get into my house. And I was like, they were annoying, and they were mating and everything in front of me. It was like really gross.
Really? What?
Yeah,
Sorry, they were what?
mating. Having
How do you know they were?
because their bodies were stuck together. So
Okay, but that's what was it awkward, or was it like?
it was just well, it was just all they were all over the place. And all of a sudden they just disappeared. I'll see if I can show you what they look like. Yeah, here they are. I'll bring you an image. Here we go. I'm gonna bring it up onto the screen. Um, and they're not that big. These pictures make them look bigger than they are. They almost look like cockroaches in some ways. Um, this is what they look like. Look like that.
Oh yeah.
And they're probably not more than maybe 3/4 of an inch long or so, not more than an inch or so. And they were just all over the place. And I was just like, they're so annoying. And eventually they just all disappeared. I mean, it was like they're there the whole summer, and I kept on had to get rid of them. I didn't want to kill them or anything, but unfortunately there was just too many of them. And you said about your problem with moths. This was my problem with moths. And eventually they just, like I said, they disappeared. Maybe it was like
Yeah, they disappear after that. I don't know where they go.
I didn't have this year or the year before, so it's whatever it was. They're gone. I'm glad they're gone because they were just every time I'd look, there'd be a little moth flying in front of my face. I'm like, where'd you come from? It's like it was just annoying. So
Do you want to hear the funny story about moth and pandemic and loneliness? I
okay.
got so desperate to the point that um, I became friend with this moth. It's like there's those times that no social gathering, you can't see your friends, quarantine straight, and then all I had around me was moths, right? So there was this moth, very cute. It was in my room, never left my side, and I was like, oh my god, I have a friend. I became crazy, and it would just be there. I think it was there for 5-6 days, and it would just like go. I don't know if it was the same moth, but I think so because it's like It was same place around. But then I think it was day 6. I was like, how come it's not moving? And it's like, and I go, and then it's dead.
Oh,
So,
oh.
so it seems like the moth, they don't live that long, and they could just be in a place for a long time and then just die by themselves. And I got really upset. Like, I really got upset for that. I was like, oh my God, I had a friend. But yeah, that was funny how we get lonely and then we become friends with creatures around us, right? We're social human. We need connections.
That's right. Did you give the moth a name? Did the moth have a name by chance?
No, I didn't have a name, but I kind of had a mini funeral for it. Don't laugh at me. I did.
You
I
had a
did
what?
have a funeral. I
Oh,
was I actually
oh,
I was really upset.
oh,
Nobody touch my
oh. Did you? Was the funeral outside? Like, did you bury him outside in the yard?
moth. No, I did. Like, I put it in a tissue really nicely, and then I felt like it would be nicer if I just like put it in the nature. So I just dropped it out the window.
Oh, dropped out the window. Okay. Okay.
I don't know. I feel really bad about like putting things in the, like, I know they're supposed to be in the ground, but it makes me even more upset. I feel like, yeah, that's why I don't really like cemetery. Going to see the funeral and putting things in very deep in there. So
I had a cat, my 16-year-old cat. This was back in 2001. My 16-year-old cat died, and I buried him in the yard. I was renting a room at the time. I didn't own my own house yet. So I went out in the side of the house that I was living in. I didn't ask the landlord. I just buried the cat in the side of the yard. And when I finally bought my house like a year later, I was thinking maybe I should dig him up so someone doesn't see him there. And I went to dig up the grave, but the ground was too hard. So I couldn't dig him out of the ground. So he got left behind. My cat did. Yeah,
oh,
but
you were willing to do that? I would be really freaked out to do that. You were willing to go and dig up that is very courageous. You must have loved that cat.
he was a friendly cat. Oh, he was a very friendly cat. Yeah. And
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
so he got left behind though, because it was just, the ground was just way too, it was just hard. It was rock hard. I couldn't figure out why it got so hard. So I just decided I was going to do it, but then I just didn't have the time because I had to get moving, but it just didn't work. So he got left
Oh, I feel like it's just once the the spirit leaves the physical, you can call it spirit or whatever you want to call it. Once the body shuts down, I don't think that person is there anymore in that physical. It's just like a physical, there's no life there. So that's why I'm not really into funerals or cemeteries or things like that. I only go to cemeteries sometimes for two reasons. Either to feel really good about myself, that, everything, like if I'm very stressed, that, okay, at the end of the day, what does it really matter? So I just learn to that perspective, or get motivation. It's like when I'm sad and when I'm happy. And when I'm very happy, I go there and say like, okay, this is temporarily. It's weird.
That's
I'm getting right now.
So you go to a cemetery to get happy, is what you're saying? I honestly, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that before. Is that real? Is that right? You go there to get happy?
Yeah. You know what? Maybe the cemetery, or the cemetery that I usually go is actually where my dad lays, and it's very beautiful. Like, it's in Vancouver. It's all green. There's beautiful trees there. There's different kinds of birds. It looks beautiful. It's like a park, right?
Oh,
and people go there and walk and run. It's actually an active park cemetery / it doesn't look like a cemetery, to be honest with you. And it has a river on the other side of it. So the reason that I go there and become happy, it's obviously not, I don't want to say that to distract the dead or anything like that, is that maybe I used the wrong word. So when I'm stressed out, or when I have anxiety, for instance, I go there to get perspective that, you know what, this shall pass and we all going to die at some point. So why am I making myself suffer at this moment? Because this is going to, so I feel better when I get that perspective.
I get you.
Not that I go and become cheerful. Hello, Dad. Like, not like that. I go there to give that perspective, to not hang on to little things too long, and not to be upset because life is very short.
Right. Yeah. I've gone through, yeah. I have not had anyone close to me die in my life so far. So I've had relatives die, but they weren't really close to me. So, but I'm sure when
Yeah.
that happens, it's going to be very, very hard for me. So, um,
Yeah, it's very, for me, when my dad passed away, which was actually 2 years ago, not that long ago. I never imagined losing my dad, to be honest with you, because you never imagine, you don't want to imagine losing your parents or loved ones, the ones that are very close to you, because it's very hard, obviously. But when my dad passed away, obviously it was very painful, but I think my life changed because you will have a different perspective about life.
hmm,
When my dad died, I quit my job because I didn't love my job. And that's when I think his death was kind of a motivation for me to pursue what makes me happy,
hmm,
because we have a lot of fears in life, and a lot of baggages, and a lot of anxiety of things we want to go for, but those are holding us back.
right.
But then if you know, like, tomorrow might not be, like, if my dad, he was always close to me, died, and now he is in under the ground or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm going to be like that one day too. So why can't I just enjoy my life?
Yeah. You're more willing to take risks, I guess. Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think in Persian poetry, there's a lot of saying like that. There is a very famous poet. I think it was Rumi, but anyone who knows that, just they can correct me. It was a very famous poet that was saying that in order to be free and be alive, you have to die. And it's a very symbolic um, saying. What it means is that not literally die, means that you have to go through that very painful revelation. You have to be a complete different side of you, that side of you that is scared and attached to this world or whatever, needs to die in order for you to be free, so you can live, something like that. I don't know if it makes sense, but
No,
that's true.
no, I get the general idea. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, it's I agree what you mean there. So, but that's actually a very good way of looking at life in general, and releasing your fear, so to speak. Just, you're not letting things hold you back, and just realizing that, it's not worth, fear is what's can hamper a lot of your ambitions and things, and you want to live life to its fullest, I guess. Is that what you're saying in that way?
Yes, exactly. We live here in a very short time. We're all here in a short time in this world. And some of us shorter than the other. I mean, we don't know when is our time to go. So it's very good to have that perspective in mind, because we all think we will live forever, but we won't live forever. Unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know, however you want to look at it.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's actually very good. That's actually something that, right now I'm going through a change of life myself. So, over the past years, a little less than a year, I've been trying to change things around. In fact, the past month alone, I really changed my life a lot in different ways. So I'm trying to realize, yes, things are different. I need to motivate myself to do things that are, instead of holding myself back and just being stuck in the same routine every day. So, and
Yeah,
and I'm trying to do that myself. So I can relate to what you're saying there. I really can. So it sounds, I just, we realize that it's time to, it's time to take, take the first step, and just keep on going. Not just, don't just take, I should say, don't just take the first step. Just keep on going, and just don't let anything hold you back. I'm kind of repeating myself now, but basically that's what I'm trying to do right now too. So, um, and,
that's really good.
yeah, hopefully. I mean, and that's what you said was very positive. I mean, I hope that everything's worked out with you with your dad. I mean, being able to quit your job, that's a major step right there. when you
Yeah, and then it wasn't easy because I went through a depression and anxiety, and the reason I'm sharing this is I know it's very personal, but I know that a lot of people out there that they've gone through similar situation or they are still going through due to different reason, pandemic, family, close family got sick or lost their job or whatever. But it was very depressed. I became depressed and anxiety, and I was really anxious to the point that I couldn't get up from a bed for a long time. So my day goes by, and like every day was the same thing, and it wasn't because I wasn't working. I didn't have a purpose. So it wasn't like I quit my job and everything was fabulous and now this is my dream and I've got my dream. It was just like I went really low at some point, but then that had to happen, because if I didn't do that, there wouldn't be a delay. I would be miserable with what I had as a job, and I would be 50, 60, God knows, and continue that cycle. But at least I got to, maybe 1 year was hard for me, but then I could get up again.
Right. That's good. I hope everything's going better with that. You said it was 2 years ago. I hope you're feeling better.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. No, everything's just good. I think everybody has something. No one's life is perfect. Everybody goes through something. It doesn't really matter whether you're rich, you're beautiful, it doesn't really matter about all those things. Everybody in every status of society has something to fix or struggle that they're going through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and yeah, and I agree. And then just basically moving the step, taking the next step and just, releasing it. And yeah, I mean, there's not much more I can add to that. What you said was very good. So.
No, thank you. I wanted to add something else too, because I think that was very important to say. It's always good to look at others who are more unfortunate, and there are under more unfortunate circumstances. For instance, I always compare myself people who are suffering in war, or refugee, or right now Afghan women who are under fear and terror. So I'm actually living very good under very good situation, living in Canada. I'm healthy, I'm safe. So it's always to have that perspective, because there's always someone worse than me. I think that's very important too.
Okay. That's very positive. Yeah. It's, as far as being able to motivate people, because some people are just going to be locked in regardless. What would you suggest to somebody who says, I want to do that, but I just can't seem to bring myself to do that? What would you, any words of suggest, anything you could suggest to those people?
I think it's go ask for help. I mean, a lot of time we're scared to ask for help, whether like seek counseling, whether like talk to a friend, read like a motivational podcast or something, like read a book, something that can help you. Asking for help is very important. I think that's what I can say. And whatever works for you, because whatever works for me might not be good for you. A lot of people think that, okay, I need to look what famous people did and this is what I did to encounter the anxiety. And it's surprisingly, a lot of famous people suffer from anxiety and depression. So wealth and fame is nothing to do with that. But everyone has a different way of coping mechanism. Everybody has a different way of grieve. Like for me, grieve was completely different than the way that my mom did. The way that I grieve, it was completely, you're gonna laugh at me, I watch Friends every day to get over my grief. Like for me, it was I just wanted to watch my favorite show, and I wanted to be completely out of this world. No one's gonna distract me. I'm just gonna be in my own little world. I'm gonna be, yeah.
The TV show Friends, not your actual friends, the TV show Friends.
TV shows, yeah, TV show Friends, yeah.
Okay, we're sure we're talking about the right thing there. So,
you know what? If I ever get a chance to meet the actors or directors or writers or whoever made that show, contributed to that show, I would say you saved my life.
Wow!
Because it was more than a comedy show. It's for me, it was escape. Again, I mean, everybody has a different way of coping with hard situation, but for me was watching my favorite show. Another person could be a chocolate eater, or I don't know. But as long as I just didn't want to go to alcohol, and I didn't want to go to drugs, because if I'm addicted to Friends TV show, I'd rather to be addicted to that than drugs than alcohol.
Gotcha.
So
Makes sense.
I'm not addicted to it, by the way. I'm not addicted to the Friends show anymore. I think I'm friends out, but it worked for me that time.
Okay, I got you. Well, before we go too far, why don't we look at our question from last week? So
Sure.
we get a. Okay, this is here we go. I'll bring it up right here. This was the question. This was from 2 weeks ago. Excuse me. How has the representations of females in video games changed your expectations or your expectation towards women? And overwhelmingly, we got 70% with created unrealistic expectations and fantasies, 26% with no change, and only 4% with none of the above. They left a comment. Okay, gotcha. So, um, I always this person right here. She's left several comments in my videos. I can never pronounce her name, so I'm not going to try it. I apologize ahead of time. I always butcher her name every time I say it. So I'll just say we're still damsels in distress. Aside pieces, non-leading protagonists on the minimum scale. Okay. Kiss Best Fan says nice video games, movies, books, etc. None of the above. Life made me change my expectations towards women. It's interesting. How do you feel about that?
About the results?
Oh no, this one comment. It says,
this comment.
Yeah, it says Kiss Best Fan, video games, movies, books, etc. None of the above. He says none of that affected it, but life made him change his expectations towards women.
I think it's based on experience too, right? A lot of people, an experience in their life can change their expectation.
Okay.
That's how I interpret it.
All right. See, next one down we got Fury with it depends on of the game. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Russian comment. Sorry, I don't have time to translate it, so we'll skip past that. Hopefully it was a good one. Another one I can't read that one. Sorry. Let's see. Caesar Villapondo says Catalina almost made me hate women. Okay, that's an inside joke with Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. That's a Grand Theft Auto San Andreas joke. So Caesar Villapondo is a character from the game, and Catalina is his cousin. She's a very violent and very high strung woman. Very angry too. So,
well, we have those women too. We have different kinds of women in reality. We have same as men, different characteristics, right?
Mm-hmm. In fact, we did bring her up. Remember last?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Okay, what is the trivia? Okay, Roy 316 says no change. I'm not lesbians with a little thingy. Also, it changed for me. And video games make me want a girlfriend, and I now have video on, and I have it now on video games, so it influenced me now. Okay, with a big smiley face. And let's see. And one more. He says, it has changed a lot. Take an example of GTA. It's not the GTA today. It's not GTA. It's not the GTA 5 today. It has great female influencing system, and also has stuffs with pornography. Yes, as time evolves, it also increases. Okay, it's kind of it's hard to read that. Sorry, it's not written very well. I apologize, Sandeep. I don't mean to. I'm not trying to be rude. It's just a little hard to read what you're saying there. So, what do you feel about that? What he's saying there? Do you have anything to say about that? It's hard to read. It's really hard to read.
Yeah, I don't want to misinterpret it, so I'm not going to comment.
Okay.
Maybe he can comment again to clarify it for us.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good idea. Yeah, because I'm having a hard time understanding what he's trying to say as well. So it might be, let's leave those alone so we don't misinterpret what he's trying to say. So overall, though, what do you feel about about the results? The 70%, 26%. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's what I expected it. I expected it that video games did in fact change the expectations towards more unrealistic. expectation. So yeah, I guess that's what the majority are saying.
Okay, so you agree? So that's your basically what you're saying is what is what the results are pretty much. Well, you said that right. So basically,
Yeah.
yeah, I gotcha. Okay, okay. I don't think I don't think for me I don't think it would have made I probably would have fallen into the category of no change. I can see the differences between a video game and what's real, and I don't what I see when I see a woman in a video game, it doesn't change my expectations or anything like that. I know it's all fake, it's not real, and the stuff that goes on in video games are not based on reality. It's all fantasy and stuff. So I don't get it. I don't think it doesn't change my perception of women at all. Not maybe not, but mostly it doesn't. I don't think it. I can't think of anything where it would. But I just think that I can differentiate between something that's fiction and something that's nonfiction. And so I don't see it. I don't see
Yeah,
video games changing that for me. I would think no change for me. So
that's good.
so.
We're glad to hear that. As a woman group, as a woman representative here.
So we got a new question, and did you want? I'll go ahead and post it. Did you want me? Do you want me to go ahead? Here, I'll go ahead and post it up here.
Sure. Just gonna...
There we go. All righty. So, does beauty affect the salary at work or getting? Oh, it does say getting. Okay, well, I was pre-reading this. I forgot what you had said exactly. So
yeah, it's two parts to it.
okay. So does beauty affect the salary or at work or getting the job? Okay.
Sorry, I'm just gonna get some water here.
Okay, that works. Okay, so yes, no would be the next one. The next response you have down here is somehow. Is that what you want to put down there?
Yeah, just like.
Whoops.
I guess
the pantry moths back up. Get rid of those.
Yes, no, yes, no, and at the end, comment or somehow something.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, okay. Leave a comment. Leave a comment below. I'll leave a comment. Does that work?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add to that? Like maybe like they don't care. I don't really care. Like something like that. Would that be okay?
Sure. I guess so many. Yeah, people don't care.
Okay.
I guess yeah.
Okay. I want to change that one around where it says leave a comment.
If most people don't care, I think we live in a very non-superficial world.
Yeah.
So I will be happy to hear that actually.
Okay. Let's see. I need to add something to leave a comment. Does beauty affect?
Yes, no.
I would like to explain. I would like. How about you explain? Maybe leave a comment. Explain. I want to try to phrase this. Trying to figure out because leave a comment doesn't really say much. I'm trying to figure out, like maybe something like that.
Should we say somehow, like in yes and no, but
Okay.
it's between, and if so, elaborate.
Okay. Somehow, if so, elaborate. Okay, I'll put that in there.
Which could be between yes and no.
Okay. You would pick a word I can't remember how to spell.
Elaborate?
Is that it? There we go. I think I got it. There we go. Okay. All right.
Sorry, can I just like fix this 2 seconds? I feel like the light is just going off. Just give me 1 second.
Sure. Okay, so does beauty affect the salary? The salary at work or getting the job? Yes, no, somehow. So elaborate. Leave a comment. Somehow. Okay. And I don't care. Okay. I'll wait till you come back until we post it. Make sure you're in agreement with me on this one. So she's just adjusting her light. So it'll just be a second here. And what I will do is I'll post the comment in the feed so people who want to comment on it can go ahead and do that. And we're still waiting for her to adjust the light. There she is.
Sorry.
That's okay.
It's been I'm back.
Alrighty. Somehow, maybe put. How about somewhat? Is that better?
Sure.
Somewhat. Okay. Okay. I think that makes a little more sense there. Okay. Does that look good? I'm gonna go ahead and post that.
Yeah, looks great.
Okay. Cool. Alrighty. Oops. Oh, it disappeared. Whoops. Hold on a second. I gotta go back to this. And I hate when it does this. Give me one second. Okay. So I can get to the. It should be at the top. There we go. Okay. Let me grab this. All right. Oh, we already got somebody who already answered a question.
Oh, someone did?
Yeah. Got one vote so far with yes. So
Oh, okay.
here's a link to today's poll. I'm putting this in the comment. So, if anybody wants to participate, if you look in the chat, you'll be able to see the link.
Yeah, and then also like you can also comment on the chat too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You
yeah,
want to comment something because I see chat is very active
yeah.
here.
We got a lot of people just saying hi today, so I was responding to some of them. Okay, so what did you? How did? So is that the topic of what you wanted to discuss today was about salary and how you think that affects people? My opinion is getting if someone goes to the job and they happen to look very attractive, whether it's male or female, I think that's more likely that they're going to get the job. What do you think?
Yes. I think yes and no. It depends how they are presenting themselves too. So, as far as the interview, if someone is very good looking, whether it's a man or female, but then they're not addressing the questions correctly, they don't have that confidence, then probably not. But to your point, I agree with you. If two people with the same qualification, with the same confidence, come to the office applying for the same job, probably the person who's maybe better dressed or better looking, as much as it's shallow and superficial, but that's I think what the human nature is. So I would have to be agree with you on that.
Yeah, yeah, you make a good point because if you have somebody that walks in and has a lot more experience and they're not what you not would be whoever's conducting the interview doesn't think they're attractive, but they see that through that and see that the person has the extent knowledge and background and experience that the person who they perceive as being attractive does not, then that would be, that would also, I would, unless they're completely superficial and just completely, the person interviewing them is just so shallow to begin with. I
Yeah.
don't seriously doubt that, that would have the beauty part would play a part in that kind of a situation. Um, if the person is yeah it's not yeah you're right it had to be the qualifications have to be very similar for that, and I think they probably would pick the person that's probably more attractive and
Mhm.
now of course
Mhm.
there are situations where the more attractive person would be picked, such as maybe something for a part on a TV show or something, and so that's
Yeah, that's for sure. That's but in maybe like in the if we talk about the normal jobs, a salary raise or things like that, because the TV portion of it obvious you have to have a log or things like that. But for a job interview, if you go into a normal office job, that is not expected. But is it the bias of um, someone being more attractive to the other can affect the job application?
yeah. Now how about I saw a study, I saw a TV show, I call it a study, it probably was not a study. I don't trust things I see on TV anyway because they'll show you what they want you to see. And they
Mhm.
claimed on the show, this was probably about 10 years ago, that hold on, hold on, hold on. Well, I almost had to sneeze there. Sorry. They in the show, it was probably more like 15 or 20 years ago. They said that that something almost identical to what we're talking about here. They would bring in a couple of people, and one would be a person that was not that attractive, the other was more attractive, and they claimed that the person that was more attractive got the job more often than the person that was not. Now, I don't know how, like I said, who knows, because it's a TV show and they're going to skew the results. They're going to show you what they want you to see to prove their point. So I don't trust what I see on TV anyway. But it did make me think about that when I saw that maybe there is some truth to that. And and that's what made me choose my answer almost, or mainly made me choose the answer that, yeah, that does influence. But when you brought up the idea that, someone has more experience, that's going to play a factor. How about when it talks about the salary? Do you think someone that is someone who is more attractive is going to get a better salary overall? That we're talking about after the hiring process, right?
I think it's I don't agree with that in terms of if someone is much more attractive than the other is going to get higher salary. I think that would be solely depends on qualification and also the confidence of the person. So, I mean, yeah, you could say the person who's better looking could be more confident, but then we have a lot of good looking people who have very low self-esteem, and a lot of average looking who have very high confidence. So I think like confidence also comes with experience.
Mm-hmm.
So someone who knows how to negotiate salaries, someone who knows how to talk, communicate, bring their points across. So I would say not necessarily, because look can get you so far, but it's not everything.
Okay. Yeah, that seems to make more sense. Yeah, as I agree with, I'll have to say, I know you want me to disagree, but I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. The as far as, yeah, if the person has the looks that could make them maybe, draw attention to them, but then when they start talking, they realize, well, this person doesn't really have what I'm looking for. That's going to change the whole thing. But as far as strictly the salary, um, I don't know. I don't know if that's a factor. It doesn't seem like it'd be a factor to me. But I don't. If someone's more attractive, would you pay them more? I don't know. Is that I have people that work for me, and I pay them this. Everyone gets the rate that we agreed to, but it's not based on someone's attractiveness. It's, based on the experience, what kind of, they can bring to my business, and that's just my experience over the past 15 years. So I mean, that everyone's going to be different, of course. I mean, when I first started hiring people when I was a teacher, when I was working at the college I was working at, I was in charge of hiring other teachers to work for me beneath, in the department I was in. There was no way that I could determine their pay because it was all determined by the college. So there was no, that was completely different. The college would go in and determine, and I don't think there was any bias there. I don't, at least I don't think there was. Maybe there was, but as far as, I don't think they cared what the person looked like in the college, because colleges are, usually run by the government anyway. But um, I don't know. What can you add more to that? I mean, I'm just kind of curious. What add to what? Why you think? Oh, what would be a factor in that?
Um, I think it's what happens with looks right now. Maybe like we are becoming a little bit more aware of that situation right now. We are more aware because there should be less discrimination. People are more. It's not in 1950s or 1960s where secretary is supposed to look like, wear tight corset or nice skirt or whatever. Right now in workplaces, and I worked in one, you just need to make sure you're presentable. So I think there's a difference between being presentable and looking beautiful. Someone that is looking beautiful and wow, everybody's just looking like, oh my God, that's gorgeous, is obviously can get you that job if you have the qualification. If you don't, then I think that's very stupid, sorry my language, of someone to just hire you because you're so beautiful. Then why don't you just go and become a model? Even being a model these days, you need to have specific qualification, how to walk, how to, look at the camera, how to do the posing. So I think it's, to be honest with you, I don't think is as important as before. It is still important, but I don't think it's as important as before because the values has changed. There are very strong code of discrimination and sexism and things like that as there's laws that are right now HR is bringing into workplace, and it's very hard to ignore them. So I think it's very hard, and it also depends on the industry.
Okay. So excluding something where someone has to look appealing or attractive, Obviously, we talk about TV, movies, other jobs that, like you said, modeling. That's different. So we're
That's different. Yeah. Obviously, you got to have a look. You have to have a height. You can't just go there and say you're discriminating against, because that's what the modeling job is. But just, for instance, if you're going for an accounting job or teacher job or whatever that is, doesn't require the look. Does that really matter? If you need to be beautiful to get the job over your competition?
Right. You brought one. Let me bring this up here. This is one of the articles that you sent me. If you wanted to
Yeah.
elaborate on this, hold on. I'm gonna bring it up here. Give me 1 second here. This is the whoops, I brought it back.
I'm opening it from here, so I'm in the same page from you.
Okay, so the very first one from Glassdoor. I'm bringing that up. Hold on a second. I'm trying to get back to. Okay, here we go. Okay, I just added to the stream. Okay, so beauty at work: how physical appearance impacts job search and careers. So you read this. You already read through this article. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so can you summarize what did they the person who wrote this? I'm trying to find the person's name. It just says posted by the Glassdoor team. So I don't know who actually wrote this. I guess maybe multiple people contributed to this. I didn't have time to read this. So, as far as what was their summary? What can you summarize what they said about this? I mean, can you?
Yeah. So it's pretty much what the article says. To just summarize, is that yes, beauty is important, and it affects the way that you get picked in a job, and it can help the productivity. So if you can see, I've sent you like various articles. I think I sent you 3, and
Yes.
some of them they have different opinions, because I wanted to look at the different perspective. And I mean, it's the personality is important, but they do talk about the importance of beauty and how it affects the productivity, I guess. Which I don't really agree with that, but I don't know where they're bringing that.
That's interesting. How would it affect the productivity? That's that I can't. I'm not sure how. I don't see how that would be a factor. I really don't.
I guess again, it depends on the industry. So that's why it was just not really clear because they're just talking about HR. But what department are we talking about? They're talking about, for instance, a CEO of, I think there's a research study that CEOs, but that doesn't say which CEO. Is it like a CEO of a beauty industry or CEO of an accounting firm? Like, who's CEO? Deemed more attractive based on a number of factors. Usually were more successful in building trust and acceptance as leaders than their less attractive counterparts. So, sorry, let me just repeat that. What they're saying is that, so as a CEO, research studies suggest that the judgment and decision of CEOs deemed more attractive based on a number of factors actually were more successful in building trust and acceptance as leaders than less attractive counterparts.
Really?
So being a leader, if you're more attractive, you can build more trust, I guess.
I gotta say, I do have a bias when it comes to certain people, especially when it comes to women. I hate to say I have this, but if I see a woman that's very, very attractive, my first thought sometimes is that they don't know as much as a person who's has had to work their way up to hard, because they weren't as attractive.
Yeah.
And it's a bias. I hold back and say, wait a minute, I don't know this person yet, so I need to evaluate them, in the right way. So, if I see someone who's in charge of something and they're attractive, then they have the attractive look, the good looks, or whatever, whether it's male or female. If most likely, I feel like they probably were deserving of that position. I can't imagine someone with just good looks getting promoted all the way to the top. and being in the executive type position or something solely on their looks. That's it may be it might be a contributing factor, but I don't think it'd be the full factor. But like I said, if I see it's and especially if it's a young woman, very attractive, my first thought is, oh, she probably doesn't know very much. She's just basically centered more about her beauty and her looks. She probably doesn't really care about anything else. And then when I realize, if I then I realize the yeah, I got to, like I said, I got to step back and evaluate her for who she actually is, and not, let my bias overtake it, because she may be smarter than I realize. And then, I had to question her and, see if she actually is, qualified for that position. But, yeah, it's, as far as, how do you feel about that?
You know what? This article, actually, while you were talking about it, talks about, it touches what you're saying. As a woman, now, if you are a woman, it says in the executive positions, right?
Mhm.
And if you're more gorgeous, it's less likely that people take you seriously, because being beautiful as a woman, having that femininity is perceived as weakness. So I think it touches what you were saying about the bias. So now it's actually touches that now if you are a woman in the executive position, you could be actually perceived as not serious
Mhm.
if you're more beautiful than someone who's not.
No, I don't have a bias when it comes to men, though. So if I see a man who's has the good looks or whatever, and I don't look at him the same way I would do like a woman who is like attractive. I would probably give him I would say, oh, maybe he knows what he's doing. I wouldn't
Yeah,
base I wouldn't make the same kind of bias call.
I wonder what that is, because I think it's actually very common what you're saying. Um, and me being a woman, I think when I sometimes catch myself and see that too, that the man who's more attractive and very confident is actually coming across as more smart, and he's wearing the suit, he's intelligent, he's good looking, he has it all. But a woman who's very beautiful, she's wearing this. I even as a woman sometimes think that, oh, does she have that qualification? Which is wrong, because I think women are supposed to support each other, and that's wrong. But I'm trying to understand, where is that bias coming from? Is it because of the society has
Yeah, good.
created that bias for us? Is it taught to us?
It might be, maybe, media, TV shows. Um, you know what I'm saying? So that a lot of times in TV shows, they'll show women who are pretty as being more ditzy and kind of brain dead, and versus, and then and maybe I'm just making guesses here. I'm not saying that's the way it is. But a lot of times, I mean, not a lot of times, but you'll see that in movies and TV shows, that the prettier women are just there for their bodies and not for
Yeah.
anything else. Now, there was a TV show that kind of poked fun at that. It was called WKRP in Cincinnati. Came out in the 1970s. I don't know if you ever saw that show. And the woman who played Lonnie Anderson, she was an very extremely attractive woman, and she was they did that. They purposely made her to be very, very smart, to play off that attitude that beautiful women can't be smart. And they did the exact opposite. They made her character extremely smart. And the actress that played Lonnie Anderson is obviously, she is very smart. And but they did that on purpose. And once in a while, she would pretend in the show, as a comedy show, she would come on and pretend that she was kind of ditzy and lightheaded and brain, like a typical blonde. She was a blonde, like she was a typical just beauty person, and like she didn't have any smarts, just to trick people. Like I can't describe it, because each show was different, of course. But but they played off of that. It was very obvious that they would, they did that because she had that very beautiful look. And but other shows, when you see a woman on a show, and I've seen I can't remember. There was a show. It was like a beauty contest of some kind, and the woman came up, and they asked her questions, and she couldn't answer the questions. So it makes that people think, well, she's focused on beauty because she can't answer any of the questions, and see, they're not that smart after all. And it's a lot of factors. I don't know. I can't. I'm just pointing out things that I've seen through my life. So it, yeah, I think the bias is there by a lot of people. It's just my opinion, of course. And it's just no is I don't know if there's any way to what do you think is there any way to correct that? I mean, to help, the people who are, to keep people from thinking that way? I mean, do you have any ideas?
I don't think there is any way to correct the bias of people always preferring beautiful um, I guess features, because this goes back to the histories and always been like, like it's just I think human nature. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Some people might say no, there is a way. You can't really say, oh my god, you should not look at that beauty and you should not prefer that one because it's not more beautiful. I cannot say that. It's something about human nature that always will go for someone's beautiful. But what I can say is that maybe we could focus more on confidence and um, how can we, when we're talking about the beautiful, what is the meaning of beautiful? Talk about this more. Is beautiful means like the physical beauty? Is that what beautiful to you is? Because too honestly, for me, again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. For me, what is attractive is not a physical beauty. What is attractive is success. What is attractive is confidence. So for me, if a man has goals, has ambition, is successful, dress well, and confidence, that makes me feel good. I'm attracted to that person because I think as a woman, women tend to be attractive to men who can, based on the survival, our history, can take care of our needs. Not necessarily I want him to take care of me, like I can work for myself, but I'm talking about just the way that we, as a human female, it is the way we think is that we think someone is more attractive if they're more confident in their career, if they're more confident in everything, because I feel more safe, that my survivor is not in danger. But if someone who's 24/7 in the gym, which is nothing wrong with that, taking care of their body, looking good, their male body, very handsome, but they don't have the skills, the life skills, and they don't have that confidence. And I had experience, and I've seen this, sometimes guys are very good looking, so they start talking to me, and I just feel like, oh my God, can we just stop talking, please? Like, I just, don't talk, you just look good. So, for me, beauty is that in men. So again, what is beauty? We need to have more discussion. We have to have more confidence, teach our children in school about not superficial things. That's the only thing they can think of.
Right. Now, we did get a comment, and I did a couple of minutes ago, and I didn't actually say. Eric said Scarlett Johansson or Jennifer Lawrence, and we can bring those. I forgot who I forgot who Jennifer Lawrence was until I brought her picture. I know who she is. I just forgot who she was until I saw her. Here we go.
I don't know. This is a tough one.
Here's
they're both beautiful.
Yeah, there's Jennifer Lawrence right there, and here's Scarlett Johansson. So
yeah, they're both pretty. It's tough. I don't know.
I've heard stories that I'll tell you right now, from what I've heard about Jennifer Lawrence, I've heard she's not a very nice person to people. So that makes it to me seem like she's not an attractive person to me. So I've been around women that are just very vicious and mean sometimes. They're just not in the friendly. And that's a major turnoff for me. It's not necessarily like I'm attracted to them per se. It just it makes me think that there's just not nice people. So I would be turned off regardless of how their physical appearance is. I would think that they're not beautiful on the inside, so to speak. So, from what I've heard about her, she doesn't seem like a very beautiful person on the inside. She's just and as far as Scarlett Johansson goes, I'm not sure. I don't know enough about her. So, there she is right here.
I think it's just the physical beauty aspects of it. I think they're both equal.
Yeah, well, that I agree with. Yeah, the physical, the superficial aspect. Yeah, definitely. but as far as what they are inside, I can't say. Oh well, like I said, I don't. I know she is because I here she is right here. I've seen. Okay, I've seen this movie. I've seen. I've not seen this movie. I've seen the preview for this movie that she's in, so I know where I know what that is. But I don't know if I've seen her in anything else, to be honest. So I'm not a fan of these movies. I'm not saying they're bad movies. I've just never watched them, so I can't say if they're good or not. So I don't know. But the thinking about what with Jennifer Lawrence, the fact is that yeah, and you talked about how men, when you look at a man, if if he has a lot of confidence, if he's successful, if he's good in his career, dresses nicely, that can play a bigger factor, and that also plays a factor for me when it comes to women, because if I see a woman who's kind of rude, I don't want to be around. I don't want to be around someone like that. Also, if they're not that intelligent but they're beautiful, I don't want to be around them that much either. That's also I prefer to be around women who are intelligent. That have they show at least a moderate level of intelligence. They don't. Yeah, they don't.
That's funny.
But I don't know someone that's like I've been around some women. They're just really,
That's
really.
funny. Can you tell us what is less moderate? Can you give us some example?
Um,
Like if you had examples, be specific. You want to know.
I went out with a woman a few times that just didn't seem to be able. She couldn't hold on a conversation. And I met her on a dating service one time, and she just seemed to have the mentality of like maybe she was. We were only like a few years apart in age at the time, but she seemed to carry on like she was maybe like a very young teenager. Like she never really grew up. And it that was a major turnoff for me. That kind of a
Yeah,
she
yeah,
she wasn't. I wouldn't say she was like a drop dead gorgeous. She wasn't drop dead gorgeous, but she looked fine. She looked like an average person. But even if I combined that with someone who was like a model or something, that would turn me off. It's just I don't want to be, and not just from an attractive point of view. Like I'm not saying I'd have to be attracted to him, but just being in the same room with somebody like that, I just usually don't want to be around them. Because they're just in any way because they just it's I want to have somebody that can carry on a
yeah.
conversation at the very least. And it's
That's fair. That's I think for everyone.
yeah,
Um,
and once you meet, if you see a woman, if I see a woman, she looks attractive, I talk to her and we can carry on a conversation, then then I can that's fine. I feel more confident. I don't have to be attracted to the woman, like I'm trying to get her as a mate or something. I'm just saying, just in general, like I'm seeing someone, I just want to talk to them.
yeah,
That's all. That's it's that is very important to me. So
yeah. Oh, for sure. Being able to carry conversation is very important because looks will fade away. Even for me, that's what I'm saying. If a guy comes after 30 seconds, if they don't carry the conversation, I'm just not attractive anymore. So
wow,
even
only
in less
30,
than 30 seconds.
wow, 30 seconds.
Because that's when you there start talking. And the one thing that it turns me off, and not only in if I wanted to like it's not about in dating, like just generally, if a guy, whether I'm working with that person or if I become just regular friends, if the person cannot stop talking about themselves, and that happens to me, they just stop all they want is talk about themselves. I'm the best businessman. I'm the best at my job. I'm the best at my workout. I'm the best in my car picking. I'm like, oh my God, like, can you please stop talking?
That's pretty funny.
Like, I'm sorry. I despise people who talk about themselves a lot because I think that actually shows so much lack of confidence that if you are sure of yourself, you don't need to talk about yourself 24/7. I mean, like we having a conversation, I ask you a question, you tell me about yourself, and you ask me a question, I'll tell you about myself. But imagine if I was just only talking about myself. I would like you would be bored. You would be, oh my God, I'm very bored. And it's not only that, it's also the sign of arrogance. Like, how could someone be so detached from the reality that they can just not stop talking about themselves?
Yeah, yeah. The Eric left in our comment said Jennifer is his age, 30 years old. Okay, so and Sandeep asked what we're comparing. We're talking about we're talking about beautiful people who are considered to be attractive and how they're how they when they get their how they get a job, if that influences how they get a job, or if that influences what their salary is, basically. So when in the workforce, that's what we're talking about. So
I guess it's to kind of wrap it up. It all depends. From female, I have to agree with you, because you said that the more attractive females in executive positions, maybe not just a regular job, in executive positions, they need to work harder to be taken seriously,
yes.
because they could just be judged by their looks. But on the other hand, men they don't have that same bias towards them if they're more attractive.
I think there is. It's just not as bad. I think.
Yeah.
I think if you see a guy that's what could become like he looks like a male model, and you have somebody like an average guy. I think you're going to take in a lot of cases, you'll probably take the guy that looks like the model more seriously sometimes. So it's just not as bad as it is for women. I think it is there, but it's just not as bad. In fact, it might be the reverse. Like if you'll take a guy that looks very handsome, very masculine, to take him more seriously than you would say a woman who looks very pretty and beautiful. So it actually might work in the exact opposite when it comes to men. I'm not affected by that because but I have seen that in different places where that happens in the work when I was in school, and I've seen that when I was in the workplace. I have seen other people do that, and I'm always like, why? I'm thinking to myself, why are they treating these other people differently? So it is there for men, just a little different, but not as pronounced as it is for women, in my opinion.
And I think for men is now promoted that men who go to the gym and work out and they're take care of themselves, they're more masculine and they're more healthy and they're more confident, right? But they don't see that in the same way for women. Like that's what, when I was working financial industry, I would see more attractive men in the executive positions, and I knew they were taken more seriously, actually. So I don't know.
Well, Sandeep says he agrees with you because in the private sector it might happen. He commented on the poll as well, so we'll take a look at his comment in a little bit here. And then Eric says he actually addressed this to you. He said Big Sean or Tupac.
Who's Big Sean, Eric?
Yeah,
I'm sure. Sorry, I don't know who's Big Sean. Should I Google?
Yeah, let's take a look. I'm not sure either. Let me take a look.
I know Tupac for sure, but I'm actually a Tupac fan too. I like his music, but
okay, here we go. I got him right here for you. You can bring him up here. There we go. He's on the screen now. Yeah, I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm not.
You know what? I have to say Tupac because I don't know. I don't know Big Sean. Oh. Sorry, Eric. I'm a Tupac fan, so I don't know. I don't know no Big Sean. Yeah, I guess yeah, it's to conclude, I guess it's men and women are perceived differently.
Yeah, it's different, but yeah, and there's obviously that's yeah. So, and then the women, yeah, it's going to be different. It's going to be different for everybody. It's for each gender, I should say. They're each going to have their own issues, and it's unfortunate, but you just gotta. The best thing I can say is just try your best not to have those biases, those preconceived biases, those prejudices in your head, and just try to look at someone for who they are. I try to do that when I was teaching. I had lots of students, and if I saw someone walk in and they were wearing what appeared to be what appeared to be like they looked like they were like trying to be like a cool person versus a person who was just trying to learn in the class, I would teach each person the same because I hadn't met them yet, so I didn't know what they were like, and still by the time we got a fourth of the way through the semester, I would know which student was actually the better student based on what they did and things like that. So I was very unbiased. And I purposely did that way. I would not look at a student based on their appearance. I would solely base it on how they acted in class and how they participated in class, before I make any judgment on them. So I have been able to do that, but I do have those preconceived notions in my head sometimes that I have to be very careful of.
Human beings, we all have biases.
Right. And and Sandeep also left one more comment. He said, the profile of my cat looks so cute.
I agree, Sandeep. It's cute. You know what? I wish one time you could like show him in live. Show your cat in live. We want to see. Sorry, is it a girl or I should know that by now?
Well,
Or a boy?
they're both boys. There are two of them. This is long hair kitty that's on the screen right now, and this is his brother right there. This is short hair kitty.
Beautiful eyes.
Yeah,
The eyes is just so exotic.
I'll try to make a video. Maybe I can show you. What
Yeah, if you can just we could see them in action, that would be great.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to get some videos on. Would you like to, let's go back to our question from earlier in the show here. Let me bring this up. So, we got some decent results here. Give me a second while I bring this up. Oops, there it was. Okay. Wow, 94 votes so far. That's pretty good. Because when we posted it 34 minutes ago. Let's see. Does beauty affect the salary at work or getting the job? 78% with yes. Interesting. 10% with no, the next one down, then 7% with somewhat, and then 5% with they don't care.
I like that. I want to know who those 5% is. We need to learn from them.
So we got first response, yes. And GY says yes, however, depends on the sector and has a larger impact on women than it does on men. Yeah.
Exactly what we talked about.
Yeah, it's different for, but there are some subtle things for men as well. But yeah, I agree. So, well,
you know what, Zoom? I think for men, I would like to actually dedicate one show to them because I feel like men has so many different struggles that we haven't touched yet in the area of beauty. So maybe
maybe we could discuss why I'm trying to change my appearance, so I look more what I perceive to be more attractive in some way.
No, but other than that, like I think like you guys also, men, they have also a lot of pressure to look up to, and media also. It's not only women that are under pressure, and the men are under pressure too. You know, when they make movies like, I don't know, Aquaman and all these like 6-packs, and then it's kind of like women are like, oh my god, they come in. It's some of them is just not unrealistic. Yeah. So I guess Hollywood is also guilty for putting pressure on men.
Oh yeah, well that's a given right there for sure. Oh yeah, I agree with that. But I can't imagine myself looking like the current Aquaman. Not with, I can't remember the actor's name, but yeah, I would not want to look like that. So
Bradley Cooper, maybe.
I just want to look like myself.
I'm just joking. Bradley Cooper is, I think every girls you ask them, is like, which one is your favorite? They say Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper. You got me. I don't know who it is. Hold on a second. I got to look this up. Okay, here it comes right here. Oh, okay.
When I was younger, I was actually really like Bradley Cooper.
Okay. Yeah.
He was my young years crush.
Oh, okay. when I was a kid, when I was a little kid, I had 3 crushes on on 3 women. One was Olivia Newton-John, the other was Terry Garr, and the other was Beverly D'Angelo. And that was when I was like between the ages of like 10 and in my teenage years. Those are the 3 women I liked a lot. So
Terry Garr, I'm checking out Terry Garr. Oh, she was beautiful when she was young.
Yeah, when she was younger, she's put on some weight over the years. So
oh, she was nice. She was beautiful. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Terry Garr. Let's see. I'll show you. There's Beverly D'Angelo when she was younger. Beverly D'Angelo looks like a grandma nowadays, which is fine. I'm not criticizing her. She's just showing her age. That's all. Let's see. Beverly D'Angelo. Oops, I can't spell her name now. And what was that? Spell it right? There she is. Yeah, Beverly D'Angelo. And yeah, I like this is her when she was younger. I liked her a lot.
Oh yeah, which movie was she in? I forgot. Like she was very famous in 1970s, right?
Yes, very much so. Yeah, she did a lot of movies during the 70s, and I liked. She was in the movie Family Vacation with Chevy Chase. That's the one I always remember her in. So
like I know her from a lot of movies.
And then
she's so pretty.
I can't remember any other movies off the top of my head. That's the only one that pops in. And then Olivia Newton-John. Olivia Newton-John, she's taken care of herself. She's aged pretty well. So, but
Oh yeah, she's nice. She's still gorgeous.
yeah, so she didn't let herself go, get blown up or anything like that. So, but yeah, when I was back in the '70s, she was she's still very attractive. I'm just saying, but she was really cute when if she was younger too. So those are my three crushes. So
I think Sanding was asking about your crush, so but you answered that,
yeah, I
right?
did. Yes, I did.
So, and my crush was Bradley Cooper.
Yeah,
If
Bradley.
anyone, that was my crush.
So let me go back to whoops, where's Bradley Cooper at? Oh, here you go. Here's Bradley Cooper one more time. So I don't know who that is. I don't. What was he in? Was anything?
Oh, he with Lady Gaga. Which one was that? I can't believe The Star Was Born. He was there.
Okay.
Um, he was actually in a lot of movies. He played a lot with Jennifer Lawrence. They were in a lot of movies together.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But yeah, I think just not everybody looks like him, obviously.
Right. Let's see. Go one more. Get one more refresh here. We're getting more responses. 105. Wow, that went up there. Pretty good. So that's actually pretty quick. I wonder. I think this will be. I'm guessing based on the fact that in 40 minutes we got 105 votes. I'm guessing that this next week will probably be more than a few thousand. So we'll see when we come back to it. And we'll hopefully get some more responses. So, alrighty. Well, that was. Let me go ahead and bring that back down. That was nice. Everyone, thanks for participating in the show. And also, if you want to keep on answering the poll, go ahead and do so, and we'll read the responses again next week. And anything else you'd like to add before we wrap everything up?
No, just it's fun every week, and I like the fact that people responded more this week. They participated more, and yeah, looking forward for another episode of Layers of Beauty.
Alrighty. Thanks, everybody. See you next
Thank
week.
you. Bye, guys.